We are in the video series of Airflow, DBT, and Snowflake integration in a data end-to-end data pipeline. And in this part 3 video, we're going to see how to install Apache Airflow in the Windows machine and how to configure Airflow so that that can trigger DBT, which in turn trigger a Snowflake job. And this is how to data, and I'm Sarvan, and we're going to start with this part 3. Let's start. Haven't watched my previous videos, please check out the videos on how to set up the DBT and Snowflake connection, and then we can follow on this video, and that will be very helpful. Okay, so now we're going to see Apache Airflow, which is basically an scheduling tool. So once you have this DBT core and Snowflake setup is in place already, and now we need to schedule up the jobs to run on a specific timeline, and that is where we need a scheduler to place them. Okay, so now let's see, we can go ahead and install the scheduler and in the Windows machine. So there are certain steps we need to do it before installing Airflow on the Windows machine. So we can install it, and before that we need to we cannot run Airflow on the Windows machine, so we need to open a WSL environment, a Linux based subsystem in Windows, open the command prompt and in an administrator mode, and then you have to follow some steps if you see here. So WSL and install, you need to install this particular WSL on your Windows machine. Once you press install, it's going to take some time for it get completed. For me, it is already done, so I get completed. For me, it will open directly. For you, it's going to take some 5 to 10 minutes. And once it is open, and then so that would be the first step. So once it is completed, we will have an Ubuntu setup already waiting for your machine. So I'll close this page, and once the installation is completed, you might need to restart your machine, and then you go here and search for Ubuntu. Yes, you will find an Ubuntu app. And once you click on this Ubuntu app, it will ask you for a username. It will ask you for set up a username and password, like if you see it in the screenshot here. So Unix username and what is the new password and what is the new password. So just keep to remember that password. So once that password is done, so now officially you have set up your system, and then you need to update this package because we are gonna install the Python and virtual environment for this one. So here I'm gonna give the password which I gave already. So update is happening, so that is fine. So once this particular update is completed, then you're gonna install a Python, and then going forward you're gonna install this Airflow. So why I'm installing Python is because I'm gonna create a virtual environment, and inside the virtual environment I'm gonna install Apache Airflow on it with the steps followed in this command, in this Airflow page of step-by-step installation. Okay, so let's now this update is completed. So once the update is completed, what is the next step I'm having is installing the Python and mm, pip is for installing the packages. So let's copy it. I'm gonna install these packages. I already installed it, so pretty much it will be running very fast for me, but in real time that will not be the case. Okay, so let's install Python virtual environment. So this is for creating a virtual environment, and once you're done, right, so we are going to create a virtual environment for us. Okay, let's see, we're going to create a Python 3 and virtual environment, and the environment name is airflow underscore okay, air underscore virtual environment. Okay, okay, let's see. So this virtual environment is created. So once the virtual environment is created, so we will activate that virtual environment. Okay, okay, now if you see here, the virtual environment got created. So now I'm in my home path. If you see my home path, right, so this is my home path in the system. So let's follow the steps provided in Airflow directly. So first they are setting up an Airflow home for installing the Airflow directory. So let's first create a directory called Airflow. So this is where an actual Airflow will get installed in your system. So if you have, this is an Airflow, when you click next, there is nothing inside. Okay, so going forward we won't need this. Okay, let's go to so what you're seeing right now, it's already integrated setup of DBT and Snowflake. So this video is already available in in the video series. The previous videos are available on how to do it. Now I'm gonna open a new window. Okay, I'm gonna open a new terminal and see in the home directory. So every time when you don't have to export this home directory, right? And now this is the major part. So whenever you wanna install this airflow, right? So airflow and python has a dependency within each other, so you may not know which exactly the version that you need to install for this dependency. So I we better leave it to the we leave it to airflow itself. So let's see what is the airflow version that you need to install. You just need to give it there. So I'm gonna go with this is the latest version, so I just let's see go with the if you check here, so 2.10.1, that is fine. So I'm gonna do this one, and then let's say python okay, and then I'm gonna do this python version and constraint.url. So already I have did everything, so let's just take it from there. We're already in this page, and right now if you see we have this version details mentioned here, so we can just directly go here and give 2.1, and then it's gonna take up my python version, which is 3.12, and then we'll have this constraint URL again, which is same on this page as well, right? So I'm just gonna put it and enter it. So now we have set up that constraint, but we haven't actually executed the data yet. I mean, executed the installation yet. Okay. So now this is where an actual installation is gonna happen. And yes, so we are installing. Okay, so let it install. So it's gonna take some time. Okay, let it install. So once it is installed, right? So what would be the next step? So first here, so we're gonna install this one, and then so you want to add flow, and then we need to initiate the DB for an airflow. Airflow, in default, it uses an SQLite. So when we initiate this command, you will know, like it will literally initiate an SQLite in the background, which stores all this kind of the DAG information there. And then we will create a login information page like the username and password. So that we will do it, and then we'll start a server, and then we'll start a scheduler. So that's it. So once you complete this page, this setups, we could be able to see the airflow scheduler, I believe. Okay, so this installation is also completed. Okay, now we are inside this airflow folder, so we just gonna initiate this airflow. So now the airflow is installed, so the next step would be initiating this airflow. Okay, let's give it a side. As I told you, right, once you initiate this DB, you can see that basically it's an SQLite that got created within this Airflow folder. And so now if you see here, inside this Airflow folder, right? So inside this Airflow folder, so we have this config and DB all are integrated right now. So Airflow is installed. So now we need to see how this actually looks. So from here on, so we will just go to VS Code, because I'll be using VS Code for the most of the time. Just for the initial setup, just I want to show you, I just use WSL there, which I won't be using it anymore. So okay, let's go here, and then we will connect to a WSL environment, which we already have it. Okay, give it a time. Okay, file and open a folder, and it says okay. Yes, okay. So here if you see, this is an airflow, right? So if you see, airflow is already there, and inside the airflow we have logs and all those things are in place. And if you see, so this is airflow. And here, so we have an airflow config which says DAX folder. So directed acyclic graph. So directed is like we know what direction that has to grow, and acyclic it's not like it will not go in a circle. Okay, so that's what it actually means. If you see here inside Airflow, we will have a tags folder. But if you see here inside Airflow, we will not have a tags folder. So we have to create one. Okay. So just go here and create a DAX folder. So inside this DAX folder, so we are gonna create the schedule. Okay, so let's say sample.py. That's a Python program that we want to create, and that's how we will start to run it. Okay, so now the things are in place, but we need the scheduler to run it in the background, right? So let's say now we have done Airflow DB migrate. So which means like the DB init was an earlier command, but when we give DB init right now, right? So the command is different and they have moved it to DB migrate. So that is a new command. So this step is not mandatory, which means like you don't always need a username and password to log in into a system, but it's good to have, right? So let's see now for the next step. So we already have set up the username and password, so that is all in place. So now we are gonna let's see. Hmm. So this is a command. Okay, this the same command that what we have ran it already. Okay, so here let's go to a terminal. Okay, it's a current directory, and then we'll go to Airflow. We'll have the list. Okay, let's before this one. Okay, just to see what is the current user list. Okay, okay, I just need to log in into the virtual environment before running this command. Right. Yeah. So I have this virtual environment that need to be activated. Okay, I think I have given that name as air underscore bnb. No, it is not there. Okay, yeah, now it is one. I've installed everything inside the virtual environment, so that's why that is very much needed. Okay, so now I'm gonna see about that user list. So let's see Airflow users list. So that's supposed to give me no data form because this is the first time I'm at least running it right now. Yes, no data form. So we don't have any data right now. Okay, let's create a new file. I'll just paste this command anyway. I might need it every now and then, right? Okay, so this is a no data form, and now I'm gonna list down. Now we already listed it down, so now I'm gonna create a new user. Okay, so if you see here, this is an Airflow and user create command. Okay, create command, and the username is admin. My name, the past first name is whatever the name that you want to give, and last name it's fine. And role, this should be a capital AD, a capital A admin. Okay, and email, any email name that you want to give. And you wonder why I didn't give a password. So password also I can give it in this parameter as well, but when I hit enter, you will be prompt for a password. So that's for sure. And you can set up any password that you want, that you can use it as per your need. So I'm gonna give in a password. It's gonna ask you for confirmation, and I'm gonna give this password. Yes. So now the password is done. So the password part is also done. So now if I run the same command again, right, the Airflow users list, so it should be giving me my username, admin, and whatever the name that I given. So currently I have one user. So same thing that whatever that we have seen it here. Okay, so so mostly we are in the final part, so we just need to what are the next step is we have completed this one. So Airflow web server, we are going to run it, and then we are going to start the scheduler. Okay, so let's say any port we can run it. It's not mandatory that we need to go for 8080. If 8080 8080 is busy, then we can go for 8081 or 8085. So that is up to you. So I'm gonna add in another terminal here. Okay, so I just created another terminal, and I'm gonna activate the virtual environment. Okay, why I need this? Because okay, let's see Airflow web server. So I'm gonna start the web server here. It's gonna take some time, and the Airflow will get started. Okay, so basically that is a web server. Okay, now the web server is getting started. So I'll add in another page here, also activated, and then I'll start the Airflow scheduler. So you can run it in a single command as well, like Airflow web server and given Amazon and Airflow scheduler. That is also fine. But we're just doing it in the local environment, so it's good. Like we will see how it is working fine. Okay, if your system is already running, right, it will show you that PID is already there. Then you need to kill that PID before you run all these things. Okay, so now if you see both the scheduler and the web server, both are running. Okay, so Airflow scheduler and for web server both are running. So now let's go here and go here, and then I'm gonna check local host. Okay, local host 8080. Okay, so it's working as expected. So it's asking for the username. So let's see, I've given the username and password, and I'm giving signing in. Yes, it is. It is working. Yes, good, good. So we have got what we needed it, and we have a default set of jobs here, and none of them are active, and everything is passed. Okay, so we don't have anything active. So let's see, let's look for a sample. Um, here itself, I could see some lot of sample tags. Okay, I'll take one of them. I'll put the samples. Let's see. What does this one is? I'll do a sample first tag. Okay, let's create a first tag. Okay, hello world. Okay, let's search for sample Python job. Okay, so here, okay, let's say from Airflow. So it's going to be a simple. Let's just say hi, or let's do something. Okay, so import this tag from here, and from Airflow and operators, we are gonna import a Python operator. Right. Okay, it should be a Python operator, and then we're gonna schedule it. So we need the date and time, right? Okay, so now let's see. We will define something, and then we'll see how it really work. Okay, so let's define a function. So the function is just hello world. So this is a basic program that you can find anywhere when you search on the internet. Let's just say you this is your first program. Okay, hello world, and what do you want to print? I want to print, okay, this is my first Airflow schedule. No, that would not be right? So anything hello world would be the first job that we run in any system. Okay, let's see. Now it's like, now it's an actual part with the tag. When it comes to an actual system, so there are a lot of phenomena. Like we need to create a task group and other things, but this one we don't need it. So DAG ID is something that what will get displayed on the scheduler. Like when you open a scheduler, you see these names, right? So this is the name that will actually meant by this DAG ID. Okay, so DAG ID, I'll give it as like first DAG DBT Snowflake. So the intention is like to run this Airflow and trigger the DBT and Snowflake, right? So okay, now let's say the next one is like okay, and then what, when I wanna start it, I want to start 2025 um, 01 and 23. I want to start right now. Okay, I should be giving it inside a comma. Okay, and also have to parse it in a date time column. Okay, and then so next one is schedule. uh, I wanna schedule it like we can give daily, or I'll give hourly now. So let's see if it runs in every 1 hour. And do I want to do any catch up? No, I don't want to do, because I just gonna run this manually, right? So this is all called as a tag. So this is all called as a tag now. In inside the tag, so I am gonna give task. So what is this task is? The task is for the Python operator. So what it has to do, it has to call that um, call that function which we have already created. Okay, so we have this for this task. We have an ID. So let's that call that as well, hello world. Okay, and then we just need to call it Python callable. Okay, what we need to call this one? It's an hello world. So it's gonna call that particular function. Okay, and this is get closed. Okay, go back here and give task one. So here one, we didn't create any dependency, or we didn't create any kind of flow here. So basically, if you see, we created a tag and we created a task, and this task is a Python operated task, and it has a task ID of hello world, and it's gonna call this particular function which comes here, and it's gonna print hello world. So that's it. So this is pretty much a straightforward thing, but we're gonna see how that really works first, if it works. Okay, so now we are in this Airflow, and we'll go into this DAX folder, and we have the sample.py, right? So see, modes. I don't have a permission, so I just gave the full permission here. So Python sample.py. So let's see if it runs without any issues now. What I did, so it's C T C H. I misspelled it completely. Okay, let's run it again. Now I'm level is made of alpha numeric character. Okay, okay, I understood. Okay, let's save this. What else did I miss? Okay, task. Okay, so I say these are a lot of mistakes people will do, and I do it a lot. Okay, now it got executed fine finally. Okay, now we're gonna look for first DAG DBT Snowflake. We're gonna Okay, so we have 68 till now. That need to get increased to 69. Yes, so we got it to 69. So what is the name? First DAG DBT underscore Snowflake. Okay, so either we can scroll it here, or here we can search it first. Oh, it's already there. Okay. Let's see. That's it. So we had one task which called as hello world, and let's see if you just run it. Yes. Okay. Currently it is queued. Success. Though that is got completed. So we can just go here and check the log, and it's gonna just print hello world, and that is got completed. Good, good. So now we are all good now. So this is really great. So the first job is completed. Now the next step is like sample is fine. So now we're gonna run another job. Let's say we are just gonna create another similar to the sample. So we're gonna create another. schedule, and we're gonna call it as DBT Snowflake.py. This is our main agenda. So we're gonna run a job. Um, we're gonna run a schedule from Airflow, which gonna trigger the DBT, which is going to trigger this DBT, and in turn, this DBT is already connected to Snowflake. So we're gonna execute these set of items, right? Okay, so now let's just do a very basic one. I'm just gonna do basically you need to first find out what are the things that you're gonna do to the system. Okay, so similarly, let's go here. The sample. So probably these items are very common. You can use the same. Okay, and this tag as well. Just use the same. We need to create a tag, but this is fine. But here, so it's gonna be little different. Okay, so we're gonna run this dbt debug, dbt run, dbt test, and all those things, right? So we will get this bash. We'll get this bash operator. Okay, instead of Python. So we'll get this bash operator, and then so let's see. And for DB and for Airflow, we need this task and group. So that needs to be task group, yeah, and it should be something like this. Task group, yes. And now I'm gonna declare a variable which gives me the project directory and the profile directory. If you're following up from my previous video, you could able to get this up. So project directory is where we actually created our DBT project, and the profile directory is where the profile of that particular DBT is, right? So for me, let's say my folder is in users, um, in my name, and the, yes. Okay, so this is my directory. So I'm gonna use this directory as my project directory, right? So this is gonna be my project directory, and my profile is, I have kept my profile somewhere here, and the profile is dot inside this dot dbt folder. I have this profile with me. So now I have this project directory and profile directory defined here, right? So for coding how to do this Airflow jobs and all, I believe there are many ways we can do it. It's not like this is an only way that we need to do so that this job will run. No, no, it's not like that. When it comes to Python, it's all free. So we just need to define this variable if it is needed out here. Okay, so this is not my first. So this is going to be my second DAG, right? Second DAG, and I've created default documents here. So I'm gonna use the same thing, the default document, and I can even add a description to it. This job is to trigger DBT Snowflake, and I want to run it hourly. Okay, let's keep it as hourly and catch up as false. Okay, so that's it. Now I'm gonna what else we can do? We can give a start, so that we'll know it got started. So we'll have an empty operator, and this what is we'll have a task ID. This is the name of the task. Start the tag, and we'll have an end, and also we'll have this empty operator, and we'll have a task ID for this as well. Okay, so the task ID is end the tag. Okay, so now we have a start and we have an end. So within that start and end, so we're gonna give the task group with the task group. So this group is like started the tag and ended the tag. Now inside this we need to give the task, and this task we can give any number of tasks, right? So task group. So I'm gonna give this a group and ID, and we'll just tell them it's a DBT one. It's a DBT task. DBT task as DBT. It's a DBT task, and inside this task, what we are going to do, we're gonna basically run some two commands. Okay, the first is dbt debug, and we'll just run dbt run. So, okay, so like how we did for last thing, right? If you see here, we'll have a task ID called hello world. So that is the task ID, and once you go here, so if you see, this is the task ID that you get. So here as well, so we're gonna give a task ID. So the task ID is dbt debug. First is gonna do the dbt debug, and earlier we had called a function, but now we are gonna do a bash command. So what this command is going to do is dbt debug, and it's gonna look for this profile directory, and what is the directory name that I've already given here. So this is a profile directory, so I'll give this profile directory and hyphen project directory. So we can give this project directory there. So profile and the project is done, right? So now we just copy the same thing, and we will do it again, but this time it's, let's call it as dbt run, and this task is also dbt run, and the command is also dbt run. So we are not gonna do anything specific, so we're gonna run everything, right? So first is we will do dbt debug, and after that we will do dbt run. So this is for the task, inside the task. So this is how we are gonna run it. Now after you end it, right, so we need to know how to do it. So first we will with start, the tag will start, you do the start, and then you do dbt task, and then you end it. Okay, so now just save it. I hope everything is fine and this looks good. So now I'm going to go to my home path and airflow tags python dbt snowflake. So I'm gonna run it. So it's saying this job is to trigger a snowflake. Perhaps you find a missed comma. Yes, I did miss it. Thanks. Okay, let's see. That's not normal. Okay. So now I'll go to airflow again. Let's see. So one is active. So which is the first DAG DBT. So it's gonna run every hour until my server is up and running. If you see here, so we have activated the server, right? So until the server is up, so it's gonna run every 1 hour. But now we are going to check our second DBT, right? So it's not first. Okay. So let's search here. It's not dead. Refresh here. Okay, let's refresh this one more time. Okay, still the count is still. Give it a time, probably. What is the name of the tag? Is second tag. Okay. Now results. So currently there are 69 and one is active and 68 is paused. So if you see increase in this number, then only that came into this picture, I believe. Yeah, now we got 69. So now if you see second DAG DBT is here. Okay, oh, where is it? Close this. Second DAG DBT is here and it is hourly, right? So I selected it. Okay, if you see, we have start DAG. So if you see here, this is start and this is end. Start, DBT task and end. Okay, we see start and we'll have DBT task and end. Inside this DBT task, we have DBT debug and DBT run. So we have DBT debug and DBT run. So this is all the print. So let's, yes, I'm just activating this particular tag and let's see how this done. So basic expectation is that should connect to DBT here. So let's go here. So I'll go to DBT log. I'll clear the log. It should basically run this models and then we should be right now here in DBT. Okay, let me refresh this as well. Now, if you see, we have one, two, three, four, five tables inside this year database and Janus schema, and we have only 5 tables. So at the end of the system, we should be seeing more tables, right? So it should be pretty forward straight, but it's going to fail. So I just want it to fail so that I'll tell you what exactly why it got failed. Okay, okay. Okay, it got failed and it's going for a retry because I gave retry as 3. If you see here, dbt command not found. In our Python code, I have given a command called dbt, right? So it's gonna run this bash command. Earlier, it was just a Python and hello world, and since Airflow is having a Python, we didn't have any issue. But this dbt debug is a command related to dbt. It's not related to Python or Linux. So we got failure. So now what we have to do? We need to install dbt DBT core and Snowflake in our system as well, in our Airflow environment as well. Okay, so now let's click on just Airflow and click on a new folder and just say requirements.txt. Okay, let's say and DBT Snowflake. We just need a DBT core, DBT core and DBT Snowflake. Yes, so I just want to show you this, so that's why I just kept it out. So what is an Airflow version? We have already installed this, I believe it's 2.10.1. So for the compatible version, so we need to know which versions are compatible, 1.8.8. And if you are using this version of Airflow, then this is a compatible version of DBT Core and Snowflake, because we'll have a lot of dependencies in the system, so which is very much needed right now. Okay, so like example, if you let's just say echo dollar constant underscore your, no, we don't have it right now. It's fine. So anyhow, this is Apache Airflow, DBT Core and DBT Snowflake. Okay, for DBT Snowflake. Hmm. So we need to install these requirement as well. So I have provided that in the screenshot in the steps as well. So I'm gonna install this pip install requirement. So before that, I'm gonna go on back folder and give a similarity. We have requirement.txt. Yes. So I'm gonna install this. So once I installed it, I'm gonna rerun the DAG again, and then you will see how that really works. Okay. Now DBT Snowflake, I'm going here and I'm gonna give, this is not my second tag anymore, right? So I'm gonna give, this is my third tag. It's not mandatory that you need to rerun every time. You need to change the tag ID every time. That is completely fine. We can just run it and then we can just rerun the schedule. But why I did is like so that okay. Okay, so that I can see that it is getting generated every time when I change it and when I run it. So now I go back here. So you can wait. Now we know that totally there are 71 and 2 is active and the one is passed. So third activity. Now you see that got reflected instantly. Earlier I was taking some time, like we were just going around, and now again it's the same thing. So I'm gonna resume this one. It was initially in the past date, so I'm gonna resume it and it's gonna run like now if you see that it's already 23 and I've scheduled it hourly, right? So the first start date is 1 UTC and the second is after 1 hour it's gonna start again. So so it's gonna start for every 1 hour and I'm gonna run it again and again. So let's give it some time and let's see how this one goes. So this, the expectation is like if you see that it started to run and DBT debug is in the queue right now. Okay, let's see the log. Okay, okay, now it got failed again. Okay, profile directory. Okay, so there is some mistake in the code. No such option, profile hyphen directory. The possible options are it should be, I think I made a mistake in the code. Okay, let's see. Oh, it should be, I think, profiles underscore directory. I did a mistake. Okay, let's go back again. Where is it? Okay, it's gonna be okay, profiles directory. Okay, and project, it should be project directory. Okay, so you see that's it's really weird. Okay, I'll just make the change again, and so that's fine. So it's see, if you see the setup, it's bash operator, and it's gonna do the retry, and then it's going to get failed again. Okay, let's go back here. So what are the things which is actively running? The third tag. Okay, so I'm gonna trigger this particular tag again. So earlier, what was the tag? Okay, it's in queue. Now it is running. Let's go to the log. Oh wow! So now see, the first one is DBT debug. So DBT debug is coming, and profile.yml it is fine. And yes, all checks are passed. Now we are going to do DBT run, and it's already started. Okay, it's good, good. Mhm. So now it's created the tables, elementary data, and it's created the views as well, and it's completed successfully. If you see here, so it is completed fine. So now we started the DAG, and we had two tasks, which is DBT debug and DBT run, and we had end task. Now let's just go to Snowflake, and earlier we had this table, only five tables. Now it should be creating views and other tables as well. So now we have comprehensive tables and views also. It got created perfectly. So this is working as expected. So now let's go here. Yes, if you see here, we could able to see the log. Earlier, I had just had clear the logs, right? So even though that got triggered from there, so you can see this logs are pretty much conveyed here as well, and it's all fine. And that's how you integrate Apache Airflow for DBT and Snowflake together. And for furthermore videos, yeah, if you have any issues in making the setup or any other issues, please do comment it out. I'll do my best to resolve it. And I'll also post this step-by-step instruction in my Git workflow, and I'll paste it on the link in this video description. Yeah.